Very good evening and welcome to another lovely edition of the Game Zone with me, Francis Agbochisalu Lampard. We've got match week 27 of the 2017-2018 English Premier League in our hand this weekend, and of course the top lineup for this weekend. Arsenal will be up against Tottenham Hotspur, and of course this show is by the courtesy of I Belong to Jesus House of Car Parts and Adrat Studio. Shall we? Let's start off with our game of the week: Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur, and of course Tottenham going into this particular fixture against Arsenal off the back of a 2-2 draw against Arsenal, also 5-1 winners over Everton. And again, this game is going to be very cagey encounter, because Tottenham Hotspur this time round, they are gathering enough confidence, and of course they are on 5th position with just 1 point behind the 4th place Chelsea, and of course Arsenal, they are also on 6th position. This game is going to be interesting. Arsenal will want to win and pick the maximum 3 points to close the gap, and Tottenham Hotspur will also want to close the gap, possibly each closer to Liverpool, because they need to play Champions League next season, and Arsenal, their main target for this season is Champions League spots, and Tottenham Hotspur will also want to play Champions League next season. So with this, both will want to pull straight, and the trade ought to be very regular on both sides. Arsenal, they need to gather their confidence back, because now they've got Aubameyang, who scored on his debut, and of course Mkhitaryan, he also got 3 assists in his first game for Arsenal. And this time around, I think Arsenal are doing so well, and Tottenham Hotspur, Harry Kane, he just got his 100th goal over the weekend, and going into this one, it's a major morale boosting for Harry Kane, and he needs to score goals. He needs to help his side qualify for Champions League next season. This game is going to be interesting. Mauricio Pochettino and also VERGE. And as far as score prediction for this one is concerned, I will go with a 2-1 victory for the home side Tottenham Hotspur over Arsenal, though I am not completely writing off Arsenal, but I think Tottenham will neck this one out. Now let's continue with the next game, or one of the 3 p.m. kickoffs. Stoke City will be up against Brighton, and again very porous. They can't just grant victory both home and away. They are on 18th position with 24 points, and again it is very bad for Bet365 boys. And again, they are playing at their own backyard. They are going to host Brighton, who are also not doing bad this season. They are on 15th position with 27 points, and again the same style of football. They aren't just doing anything to at least survive. So I think this one, it is going to be very interesting. As far as score prediction for this one is concerned, I will go with 1-1 after full 90 minutes of action. Now let's continue with 3 p.m. kickoff. Everton will host Crystal Palace at the Goodison Park, and of course Crystal Palace, they are very bad. We're a bit okay, but the second half of the season, they can't just grant victory. That's very appalling. That's very awful on the part of Crystal Palace. And again, they are playing against the Big Sam Allardyce Everton, and of course they were demolished, or they were destroyed by Arsenal just during match week 26. Arsenal beats them by 5-1. Arsenal beats Everton of the Ghana's boy, or the player from Arsenal, Theo Walcott, and again was a very, very good signing for the Big Sam Allardyce. And going into this particular fixture against less endowed Crystal Palace, as far as score prediction for this one is concerned, I know the Big Sam Allardyce and his charges will pose the threat, and again they are playing at their own backyard, the Goodison Park. As far as score prediction for this one is concerned, I will go with 2-1 victory for Everton. Now let's continue with the 3 p.m. kick-off. Swansea City will be up against Burnley, and again Swansea City, they are beginning to gather enough confidence. They are now becoming, I think, forced to reckon with, because they are now trying to lift themselves off the drop zone. They are now on 17th position based on where they were at the first half of the season. I think they've had enough improvement so far, because at the first round or at the first half of the season they were somewhere 20th position, but then they are now 17th going into match week 27 against Burnley. And of course Burnley, they are not bad, but they are not just doing good, because at the first half of the season I always call them the surprise of the season, because they've done extremely well at the first round of the season. Burnley under the watch of Sean Dyche, and they are doing so well. They've done so well, but they are not just picking maximum 3 points this time round. In the Premier League, if you want to make amends, if you want to make it big in the Premier League, you've got to pick maximum 3 points. That will speak volume of who you are. That will speak volume of the caliber of the players you have in your camp. But Burnley, they are just picking 1 point. They are picking draws left, right, center. Though the draw is not all that bad, but in the Premier League you've got to pick maximum 3 points. And Burnley, going into this particular one, looking at their pedigree, looking at what they've done in the first half of the season, I will always give them this one, because Swansea City, they are also not bad. I am not completely writing off Swansea City, but I think Burnley and Burnley under the watch of Sean Dyche will make this one out. As far as score prediction for this one is concerned, and of course Burnley over the weekend they drew with the league leaders Manchester City. It tells how good they are in playing draws. So as far as score prediction for this one is concerned, I will go with 2-1 victory for Burnley over Swansea City. Now let's continue with the final 3 p.m. kick-off on Saturday. West Ham United will be hosting Watford, and again West Ham, they are very poor. West Ham are not doing well at all under the watch of David Moyes. West Ham are very poor. They are on 12th position with 27 points. And again, going into this particular fixture, Watford, they've got something at the back of their brain, because they were able to thump the defending champions Chelsea by 3-1. And again, it's a major contributing factor to them going into this particular one. And of course, they are not cut and drift yet, because they are doing well. To me, they are doing so well because how they were able to beat Chelsea, and of course all the three guys, the likes of Troy Deeney, Delefeu and Diamat, they were absolutely class, and I can't just write off Watford in this particular feature. Though they are playing away, I will give them the victory. As far as score prediction for this one is concerned, I will go with my 3-1 victory for Watford over West Ham United. Now let's continue with our final game on Saturday. It will be Manchester City, the league leaders, versus Leicester City. And of course, Manchester City, they've got the squad. Pep Guardiola is not perturbed at all because he knows his guys are doing so well. They will grant victory. In fact, they are always on top of their game. And of course, the likes of Raheem Sterling, Kun Aguero, they are doing so well. Without a shadow of the doubt, I think Manchester City will pick the maximum 3 points. And again, they were not able to beat Burnley, so they have to put their ass down on this particular one. Though Leicester City will bring the fight, they will impose the fight on them, they will pose the threat, but I think that threat won't be enough to penetrate Pep Guardiola and his Manchester City side. As far as score prediction for this one is concerned, I will go with 4-1 victory for Pep Guardiola and his Manchester City side. Now let's continue with Sunday fixtures. Huddersfield Town will be up against AFC Bournemouth. And again, AFC Bournemouth going into this particular one with a very huge confidence because they were able to beat Chelsea 2 weeks ago by 4-0, and 80 factor into this particular one, and it's a major factor. And again, it boosts their confidence going into this particular one against Huddersfield Town. Huddersfield very poor, Huddersfield very bad, Huddersfield very pathetic, and of course they are not doing so well. They are on 19th position, and again it tells how poor Huddersfield are this season. And of course going into this one against AFC Bournemouth, who are now beginning to gather enough confidence. And again, AFC Bournemouth, they are also not bad this season because they are on 9th position with 31 points. They've done so well to me, they've done so well without a shadow of the doubt. AFC Bournemouth will pick the maximum 3 points over Huddersfield Town because Huddersfield, they are not good to me. Huddersfield are very bad. And as far as score prediction for this one is concerned, I will go with a 3-1 victory for AFC Bournemouth. Second game on Sunday, it will be Manchester United versus Newcastle United, and of course it's Newcastle United versus Manchester United at St. James Park. St. James Park this season, I think Newcastle United, they've not done well this season under the watch of Rafa Benitez, and again they haven't done any signing during the winter. They haven't done any proper signing during the winter. I was expecting the owner Mike Ashley to pump some money into the winter transfer and get some players to beef up the squad, but he hasn't done anything like that. And of course, if you are working with a manager in the caliber of or in the shape of Rafa Benitez, who has seen everything, you need to give him money to sign players, you need to give him money to beef up the squad, and Mike Ashley doesn't care about anything at all. I think Newcastle United, they are struggling, and I think they are beginning to gather enough confidence. And again, in the Premier League, if you don't have proper score these days, it will be very difficult for you to pick points. If you don't have top-notch players, if you have average players, you can't just get victory. And it is very important these days that you invest a lot in the club and get proper players to do the magic for you, get proper players to do the damage for you. And Newcastle, they are very poor this time round, but they are beginning to lift themselves from the drop zone. They are now on 16th position with 25 points, and going into this particular tie against Jose Mourinho's Manchester United, who are also doing so well this time round with the inclusion of Sanchez from Arsenal. I think Jose Mourinho has seen everything in his for the one in the shape of Sanchez, and he has started. It's not bad. The likes of Paul Pogba, Sanchez, and Romelu Lukaku, I think they've now gone far better, but I think this one, it is not going to be all that easy for Manchester United, because Newcastle United, they've got to pick points, they've got to lift themselves out of the drop zone, and again they need to win home matches. It is very important. So Newcastle United, they will surely fight, they will put a fight, they will pick the fight, and they will bring the fight to Manchester United. But I think Jose Mourinho and his Manchester United side will do everything possible to pick the maximum 3 points at St. James Park. As far as score prediction for this one is concerned, I will go with a 2-1 scoreline for Jose Mourinho and his Manchester United. Let's continue with our final game on Sunday. It will be Southampton versus Liverpool, and again Southampton, they are so good, especially in the second half of the season, because they find themselves on 15th position, and Liverpool, playing against Liverpool these days, you've got to be very careful, because Liverpool, Messi, Mo Salah is doing so well. He is scoring left, right, center. He is picking every loose ball, and he is taking all his chances. That tells you how good Mo Salah is this particular season. In fact, he has scored 28 goals in all competitions for Liverpool this season. It's a mark of a good footballer. It's a mark of a fantastic footballer, and he is absolutely a class. And I can't just write Liverpool off in this particular fixture, because they are playing away at St. Mary's. It won't be easy for the St. Mary's boys, Southampton, because Liverpool are doing so well. But one thing I've realized about Liverpool, they've got to work on their defense. The defense is not very good. The defense is very bad. They've got to work on the defense. They've got to make sure they tackle the defensive problem. Liverpool wanted to solve the defensive problem. Manager Jurgen Klopp wants to solve the defensive problem, and again he brought in a player that to me doesn't deserve that huge amount of money, Virgil van Dijk. But I don't think Virgil van Dijk is the remedy to Liverpool's defensive problem. They've got to tackle the defense very well. I think our prediction for this one is concerned Southampton versus Liverpool. After full 90 minutes of action, I see Liverpool winning by 3 goals to 1. Now, I know our final game of the week, and again, I really don't want to talk much about Chelsea, because I don't really know what at all is happening to Chelsea. They are not just doing so well, they are very porous. And again, the manager of the side, Antonio Conte, judging from his facial appearance, judging from his demeanor, he wants to leave the club, he wants to go elsewhere. But I think I am still waiting desperately for the owner Roman Abramovich to pull the trigger, get rid of him, because he's not ready to manage the club, he's not ready to handle the club. If these days Chelsea doesn't score, it's none of Antonio Conte's business. But going into this particular fixture, already their previous 2 fixtures against AFC Bournemouth and Watford, they lost by 7 goals to 1 in those 2 fixtures, and they've lost 6 good points. That tells you how poor Chelsea were in the previous 2 fixtures. And going into this particular one against West Bromwich Albion, they are stuck at the bottom of the table. They are on 20th position. They are not just doing well, they are very bad, they are poor. And if Chelsea lose this particular fixture, then it means something is wrong, and owner Roman Abramovich needs to pull the trigger, because you can't just lose 3 games in a trot against less endowed clubs like AFC Bournemouth, like Watford and West Bromwich Albion. And of course, it is going to be very, very, very interesting because this is the fixture Chelsea need to win. Without a shadow of the doubt, they need to win this particular fixture at all costs. Antonio Conte wants to ditch the club into this particular trouble, but I think it is going to be very, very easy for Chelsea. If Conte wants to win this particular one, he needs to field all the players that he needs, all the players that he thinks they can do the job. Or as far as score prediction for this one is concerned, I will go with a 2-1 victory for Chelsea. Well, my friend, this is how time will allow me. My name is Francis Abojisa Lampard. You know, it's always pleasure bringing you nothing but the best of analysis from the football world. I always take my time to bring all the insightful analysis that you want. And of course, match week 27 of the 2017-2018 English Premier League, and hope stay tuned, but don't forget to join me on Monday for another exciting edition of the scoreboard. Till then, do enjoy the rest of your weekend, and bye for now.